Hello and welcome to the I-485 Adjustment of Status tutorial, expiring June 30th, 2019. What is the purpose of the I-485 Adjustment of Status form? This form is the main application that your spouse needs to submit after coming to the United States on a K visa. This form is not too difficult and shouldn't take you guys too long. Let's get started. First off, we're going to click the I-485 form. I'm going to open this up a little bit bigger. We're going to go down to the alien number, type that in. Once you do so, it's going to be saved throughout the whole entire application. Alright, then we're going to go to part 1, information about you. Type in the last name, the first name, and the middle name, okay? Doe Jane Garcia. Other names you have used since birth, if applicable. So, because Jane was married, her maiden name is Garcia, and then just Jane, and then the middle name Galang. Alright, other information about you, so Jane's birthday, then her gender, she's a female, and then city or town of birth, so Jane was born in Trinidad. Alright, country of birth, Philippines, country of citizenship or nationality, Philippines, and then they want to know alien registration number, so we already filled it out up on top and it was automatically put into this box, so we didn't have to do any work there. And 11 is not applicable to us. 12, U.S. Social Security number, if any. We have a U.S. Social Security number, so we put that one in. U.S. mailing address. So when Jane came into the United States, we were able to live with my dad. So we put Ernest Doe and then his address below, okay? Alternate and or safe mailing address. We did not have any of that, so we didn't fill that out. Recent immigration history. So this is something you're going to want to do. Get your passport and look at your visa too, and all the info will be on there. So passport number, used at last arrival, get that number there. Travel document number, used at last arrival. We didn't have any, so there was no need for that. You're going to have the expiration date on the passport, travel document. Put that there, and then the country that the passport was issued in. Ours was Philippines. The control number, this is going to be found on the immigrant visa, the non-immigrant visa. This is 14 digits long. It will help you find it a little bit easier that way. Okay, and then city or town. Dearborn is the port city, the port of arrival where Jane came in. Okay, so then Washington is the state, and date of last arrival 12/20/2017, and then here when I last arrived in the United States, and then you have 4 choices here, so we chose 22A, was inspected at the port of entry and admitted as, for example, exchange visitor, waived through, temporary worker, student. We chose fiance visa. We're just clarifying in this box. We're going to continue down, and this is talking strictly about the I-94 form. So you're going to want to pull out this form. You should have gotten this when you got into the United States, and you should also have something online where you can pull off a copy. So here you're going to want to type in the arrival departure number from that form, the expiration date from that form, and then the class of admission that's listed on the form, okay? We're going to go to part 1, information about you continued, and it says on line 24, what is your current immigration status if it has changed since your arrival? We chose to put K1 visa because that is our current status, okay? And it says provide your name exactly as it appears on your form I-94, if any. So again, on that form, Garcia, Jane's maiden name, was listed on it, then Jane, and then Galang, okay? We're going to continue to part 2, application type or filing category. So we are filing this for the purpose of a K1 or K2 visa. So person admitting to the United States as a fiance or child of a fiance of a U.S. citizen, form I-129F, K1/K2 non-immigrant. So click that box, and then we're going to go to line 2. We selected no for this. If this applies to you, you're going to want to click yes, and then also read this down here and it will explain further, okay? And then we're going to go to part 2, continued, information about your immigration category. Alright, so they want to know the receipt number of underlying petition, if any. So when we filled out the I-129F form, the petition to get Jane to the United States for a K-1 visa, the USCIS, after filing that, gave us a receipt number with an abbreviated WAC followed by a number. Okay, so on the approval of the I-129F, it should have this number along with another document, receipt notice, that the USCIS sends you in the mail. Okay, on line 4, priority date from underlining petition, if any. So again, on that petition, you're going to just write the date that it gives you for that, okay? And there's nothing further here that we had to fill out, so we're going to go jump down to part 3, additional information about you. And it's asking if we've ever applied for an immigrant visa to obtain permanent resident status at a U.S. embassy or U.S. consulate abroad. No, we have not. So obviously if you have, you're going to want to put that there. And then it says address history. So again, this is just Jane's current address in the U.S. like we had listed above with the father-in-law. So we just added that there, and you can see here it just says present. So when she got here until the present. And then again, we're going to go down and we're going to see physical address too. So this is Jane's address in the Philippines. And we're going to see down on part 3, continue the dates of how long Jane resided at that address. So if there are any additional addresses, you're going to want to put that in this box, I believe. We're going to go down to employment history though. On line 11, they just want to know where Jane worked. So we're starting with the most recent. It says City of Hope Orphanage, and then we just followed that with the address and the country, and then the occupation, teacher, and then the dates of how long Jane worked. So then again, employer 2, so if you've had 2 jobs, then you're going to want to put that there. Employer 2, Light Bearers Academy, the address is with it, the country, and then the occupation was a teacher. So, and then the dates of employment follow that. So then we're going to go to additional information about you. We don't have any other work history, so we skip that. We're going to go to part 4, information about your parents. So this is Jane's father, Garcia Juan Ramos. There's no additional names that he was known by, so we're going to continue to go up here, and we're going to look at his date of birth. His gender is a male, and then the city or town of birth. And we have the country of birth, Philippines, and then current city or town of residence if living, Trinidad, and current country of residence if living, and that's the Philippines. Then we have parent 2, and that would be Jane's mom, and it's Garcia for the last name, Maria for the first name, and Galang for the middle name, and then you would do parent 2's name at birth if different than above, and that's going to be the maiden name of Jane's mother. So Galang, Maria, and then the middle name was different as well, Santos. So date of birth for the mother, then we're going to put the gender, female, and then again, you know, we have the city or town of birth, country of birth, and then what city they're residing in, what country they're residing in, if they're still living. Okay, then part 5, information about your marital history. So Jane is currently married, alright, and they want to know if her spouse is serving in the Army or the Coast Guard. We are not, he is not, so no, you just mark that box if they're not. And then how many times have you been married, including annulled marriages and marriages to the same person? So in Jane's case, she's only been married once. Then they want to know information about your current marriage. So for line 4A, we're just going to put the last name, Doe, and then John is the spouse, and J is John's middle name, okay? There's no alien number for him. This is John's date of birth, and then the date of marriage that Jane and him were married on. Current spouse's birthplace, okay, so that info is right there. And then we're going to scroll up here. Place of marriage to current spouse. So Dearborn, Washington, U.S. is where they were married. Is current spouse applying with you? No. John is not applying with Jane. Alright? So then we're going to go information about prior marriages, if any. Jane was never married before, so it's okay. They want to know information continued right here, and then information about your children. So Jane, again, doesn't have any children from any other partners, so we're not going to put anything there. And then part 7, biographic information. So this is just ethnicity, race. It's going to do the height, the weight, the eye color, the hair color. You're going to want to fill that all out. Part 8 is just a yes and no answer. So just read it carefully and make sure that you answer everything accurately and truthfully. We're going to go down to part 9. Okay. And it's just asking here if any accommodations were made for disabilities or impairments. We did no. Obviously, you would say yes if there were. Okay. And then we're going to scroll down to part 10, applicant statement. So I can read and understand English. Yes, if you can, then you're going to want to check that box. If you need an interpreter or anything, then you're going to want to check one of these. So then applicant's contact information. If you have a telephone number, you're going to want to put it there. We had a mobile number, so we put it here. And then Jane has an email address. She put that there. Then we follow this all up by the date, and then by the signature. And then that's it. Congratulations, you have just finished the I-485 form.